Not counting these fired-up tailgaters, about 106,000 people can pack inside Tiger Stadium, and that includes tens of thousands of registered voters who could make a difference on Election Day. Secretary of State Tom Schindler's letter of resignation, it's about 2 pages long. Writing this book, what has been the greatest reward for you?
To see what real heroes look like. I don't think we get to see that enough.
Looking behind me right now, it looks like an 18-wheeler spun out just moments ago directly behind us as we were getting to the scene. And welcome in at 5:30 this Friday evening. I'm Harrison Golden. 230,000 of them, can you believe it, marking each and every headstone this Memorial Day. The officers, Howie Lake II and Blaine Salamone, will not face charges at the state level. That just coming in. President Trump has had 45 days to sign that request, but now on day 47, still no signature. Another 9,000 for private dining, refreshments, and coffee. But not even all that caffeine could energize compromise during this past special session, the 5th one since 2016. Occasionally, street signs will point to a long history of the Cajun dialect of French across Louisiana. If you were betting that Baton Rouge's smoking ban would attract more revenue into capital city casinos, well, looks like you're out of luck. The creation of a violent criminal enterprises task force, in many ways mimicking the BRAVE program that had recently been shuttered. Hey, Dion, it may just be that Wade Sims was born to put on that LSU basketball jersey. Of course, quite literally, it was in his blood. His father, Wayne Sims, played for LSU just a generation ago, donning that famous purple and gold. And now tonight, those colors mourn for a 20-year-old gone so quickly. If I were one of the reporters there, I would ask Will. Willpower. What's the secret to winning? What would his answer be? I hope willpower. That's all you need to know. That's all you need to know. Back in a moment. Stay with us.
That came as a shock. I could see that the campaign obviously was an issue.
Less than 2 days after losing a U.S. House seat to incumbent Garrett Graves, Justin DeWitt got a phone call from his boss.
And the first day I returned back, 36 hours after the election is over, I'm no longer employed.
DeWitt spent 4 years at SJB Group, a land surveying firm in Baton Rouge. He says with management's permission, he took 8 days off to campaign. Then Thursday came the layoff, he says without warning and effective immediately.
The only thing they told me that the reason this was happening is that their workload, they're tightening their belts, reducing crews, and that my work performance has been low this year.
But DeWitt argues company claims of downsizing don't add up, claiming he's been the only layoff, a month after the firm invested in a new truck and gave bonuses to workers.
My performance, if it was so low, then why did I get a bonus? Why did I get a raise?
The Democrat DeWitt says his sudden termination is about politics, which he says he's never discussed at work.
Maybe I'm a liability, or maybe they just have bad timing of trying to lay someone off and not giving a real justification.
SJB President Wilfred Barry in a statement telling us the company does not comment on staff departures. Meanwhile, DeWitt says his story is all too common, especially among lower-profile candidates who often juggle their jobs with the campaign trail.
Anyone running for office in the state of Louisiana or across the country, if you're not already wealthy or rich or heads of corporations or someone in the power already, then my advice to them would be to prepare for a long and bumpy road.
Yet even as DeWitt now seeks a day job, he says a job in public office is still worth the wear. In Baton Rouge for your local election headquarters, I'm Harrison Golden.
When you call that junk, something wrong with you.
From his home at the corner of Plank Road and Madison Avenue, Moses McWilliams sells second chances.
He was in a box sitting on the side of a garbage can. And I grabbed them, I said, hey, come on home to Daddy. I gave him a kiss. I gave him a kiss.
Discoveries by the man who calls himself the house doctor.
It may not be worth $1 million, but I tell you what, it's worth love.
If he run into a treasure, he gonna stop, he gonna pick it up and load it up and bring it back here, and we're gonna clean it up and we're gonna sanitize it and we're gonna set it up, and it's waiting on somebody.
In a part of town where the residents may have trouble affording the Walmarts and the Targets, Moses sells you a bed or couch for $15, books and clothing for $1, glassware for $0.25, and children's toys always free.
It's good people here, whether they got money and able to do things or not. It don't matter. It's good people.
Now Moses is the one looking for a chance. He faces costly permit and compliance issues. East Baton Rouge Parish says he has to build a parking lot by July 23rd.
That ain't no easy task there, that's cost money.
He said he's working on a lot adjacent to the store, but with the little money he pockets because of the low prices he offers, it'll take him months to afford it. That's why he's asked the parish for an extension. So far, no answer. In the meantime, Moses says, he's open.
people that knock on my door, they'll call, or they blow their horn, or they just holler, "Mr. Moses," or somebody say, "Doc," and I hear that, I already know what it is, I'll come out.
Charitable business or failure to follow the rules. That's up to the parish.
How you doing, my friend?
Moses says if he's forced to close, the so-called house doctor will be on call somewhere else.
I'm gonna continue doing what I'm doing, but I won't be doing it here. But Moses McGuire even gonna do what he do, because this is what I do.
For its moss-draped cypress, tucked-away cabins, and water reflections that could slay the Greek hunter Narcissus, Bayou Corn is where you can go quite some time without hearing a single word.
You look at the bayou, the water's still nice, the trees are still green, the gators are still lurking, the egrets are still catching fish.
A slice of Assumption Parish still quiet after all these years, only now for the wrong reasons.
The saddest thing for me is the loss of the people that were living here. You know, we lost all those neighbors, they were all good friends.
12-year resident Dennis Landry says they were all here before bubbles and burps belted this bayou until the outer wall of the nearby underground salt cavern caved in. The crude oil and methane gas filtered up as the ancient rock and trees began their descent some 750 feet. Before that sinkhole ate up nearly 37 acres of this community, Bayou Corn boasted a population of just about 350. Today it stands at about a dozen.
You know, we have the stigma of the sinkhole hanging over us.
Many never came back, fearing more collapses to come. Texas Brine, the company operating the failed cavern, agreed to buy out their property, the value of which had fallen with the land itself.
And now I have a home, a 3-bedroom brick home that was probably worth in the neighborhood of $300,000 that is now unsaleable.
For those who remained through the evacuation order, Texas Brine gave weekly checks of $875. Not enough, says Bob Deaton, who's lived on this bayou since 2006.
And they have taken the position that because they paid weekly disaster assistance, that they don't owe us anything, that they've already paid.
Landry questions whether he'll someday have no neighbors left. Still, he doesn't regret that choice he made 6 years ago to keep his piece of the land still standing.
This is a hard place to replace. And I thought immediately, I said, man, if we evacuate here and we leave, we'll never find a place directly on the bayou, directly on the water, as beautiful as this is. So I wasn't willing to give up my sportsman's paradise here at Bayou Corn.
In Assumption Parish, Harrison Golden, Local 33 News.